for us. This will be our final Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN show. And we promise, just like the first night, March 23rd of 2017, where we were in this same building, that you will see great action, young prospects being tested, and fighters willing to give their all inside the ring.
And Manny Robles in the burgundy is a fighter that comes from a fight family. His dad, Manny Sr., prominent trainer, trained a couple world champions. His grandfather, Chato Robles, all over Southern California, was just known with the late Genaro Chicanito Hernandez, whose brother Rudy is in the corner of Manny now. So it's a fight family, and his opponent, Jose Gonzalez from Guadalajara. You know, you think Guadalajara right now, you're thinking Canelo, so it's a good scrap tonight between these two. Should be fun in 10 rounds. It's pretty cool. Like, just talking with Manny. Man, by talking means we were pulling teeth from him in the fighter meetings. It's just who he is. He lets his hands talk, but the last time he was here, he stopped Edgar Valerio, who was an undefeated Golden Boy prospect, where the Golden Boy, Roberto Diaz, matchmaker, put together his two undefeated guys. Like, look, one of you guys got to go step it up. Here we are, and he stopped Valerio. An impressive night on TV. Here he is as a co-feature, fighting on ESPN. You know, big Raider fan, so he hasn't had much to root for this year.
So true.
Yep.
But he wants to root. He wants to make you root for him.
Yeah.
Inside the ring, and you know that was a big confidence builder against Valerio. He said that was the biggest thing that he took away from that fight. You know, it's not every day you get to fight an undefeated fighter and prove what you're capable of. That's been the case for Jose Gonzalez in his last three fights. Two of them losses, then a get-well fight, but they were undefeated fighters. He's had no easy touches on his way to what he hopes will be an eventual world title opportunity, as unrealistic as that may seem for many.
Yeah, for Gonzalez, he went up against a young prospect that Banner Promotions has with Artie Palulo and Thompson Boxing, also and Ruben Villa. He was a southpaw though, but against Villa, he never let himself go. I worked that fight with Steve Kim, and one thing about that I noticed, because we go do our research on YouTube. Okay, this kid's fun. You want to see this guy, but against Villa, he never let himself go. He was tentative, and I asked him about that in the fighter meeting. Like, I'm gonna be completely different today, and his coming out trying to throw first, being aggressive, is completely different from what I saw him against Ruben Villa. So this is the version of Gonzalez that people expect to see.
Yeah, he said, I'm not a counterpuncher. I'm going to go out there and make things happen in the ring type of fighter. And he understands, hey, I'm the B-side tonight, so I really need to work harder than any guy that I've ever been in against. And I understand that Manny Robles cracks. I know that he hits hard. You'll be seeing me switch from right left. And there he got tagged with a nice right hand that buckled the legs of Jose Gonzalez. You saw what Manny Robles is capable of doing here. Guy who announced his retirement from boxing today.
Did he really?
So maybe both guys who put on one of the greatest wars we've seen in a long time will be saying farewell to the sport on the same night. He was in Japan, so maybe it was yesterday or the day. But I don't know. But theoretically, it was the same day.
So Kamiga, El Corazón de Acero, Roberto Diaz gave it to him.
That's it.
Oh, he put on some battles. He and Soto Garaz went back to back, and good fights. That's cool. Classy man, too, Kamigai.
Yeah, Kamigai also had a great war with Robert the Ghost
Yes, he did.
Guerrero, who just announced he's coming back. So some guys go, what do they say? One door closes, another one opens. Well, that happens in boxing all the time.
Who's this? Like, this boxeo, your show that you do on Who Knows Chato? A los Golpes, are you doing it right now? All this breaking news for us?
I got to keep the fans informed as to what's going on in the sport of boxing that we love so much. And here you see Manny Robles trying to break down his opponent. Just pushing Gonzalez back into the ropes, and now they're back in the center of the ring.
Yeah, Robles, if you're seeing him for the first time, he's very technical, to the point, doesn't waste energy, doesn't do anything extraordinary, like, oh my goodness, but then next thing you know, he's wearing opponents down, he's breaking them down, he's methodical with it, very cerebral about the sport of boxing. Very technical.
Just sees Robles walking down Gonzalez, pushing him back. You see the physicality and the strength of Manny Robles III.
You see Gonzalez switching to southpaw. He didn't do that much against Ruben Villa, and the times he did do it, it was later on in the fight. So he's doing it here early in the second. That must be something, right? He must be feeling something from Manny Robles, because he's on the ropes again.
No.
Only down on the head of his opponent, so Ray Corona steps in and puts a halt to that. You know, Robles talked about two things. You know, when he was with his father, he understood that he fell in love with boxing because of his grandfather, you know, the great Chato Robles. May he rest in peace. But with Rudy, he said, he's family. He's been in there since I was a little kid, and he always gave me great advice. And, you know, his father, who's also a great trainer, said if there was anybody else that I was going to entrust my child to, it's Rudy Hernandez. And that has really worked out for them. And we've seen Rudy have great success recently, you know, especially with the Japanese fighters who come to the United States. And he's got a kinship with them that really works for him. You know, Masayuki Ito, he took to a world title. He just had, you know, Mickey Roman last week, and Chato did some sparring with Roman.
Work out of there, throw. Tempo!
Golden Boy Boxing and ESPN have been able to provide a lot of great action fights. We'll go through some of the best fights we've seen here. This has been our home base for the most part. We've been in Puerto Rico, Cancun, throughout the United States, and Boston. But this really has been our home base throughout the Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN series.
Yeah, it always brings a good crowd. Southern California, it's, okay, where's it? Coachella, man. If you're going to Coachella, you can go to the fights. And Kendrick Lamar's here, so he knows. He wants to say the goodbye to Golden Boy on ESPN. He knows Aaron McKenna, who's in the swing belt tonight. And Emilio Sanchez won earlier. He's from Coachella now. Manny Robles is a big Kendrick fan. So I told him, hey, Kendrick can be the thing. He's like, what? Like, yeah, top dog.
He's staying humble.
Yeah, I try.
Throw.
See the body work that Jose Gonzalez is trying to use to get Manny Robles off of him. And Manny understands. He says, look, I want to put on a show tonight.
Yep.
And it's not because Kendrick Lamar is here. It's not because Oscar De La Hoya is here. He just wants people to know the name Manny Robles. And he knows that there's no better way than to score a vicious knockout. And then people say, I want to see that kid again.
Yo, Jose Gonzalez, 23-6, 13 KOs. He's a good measuring stick. He's a good opponent. That's why his last couple fights have been against undefeated prospects. Makes it difficult for you, but he gives you opportunities where he leaves himself open. And if Manny is trying to go for that knockout and get on a SportsCenter top 10, it's there. You see the way Gonzalez keeps that left hand down? Manny is vicious with that right hook.
He's just trying to set it up. The southpaw guard maybe giving him a little bit of pause as to how he's going to execute that right hook, but there's no doubt that that's the one thing that's on Robles' mind is setting up that one shot.
Yeah, we were talking to him in the fighter meeting. He was like, well, how do you make a name for yourself? How do you do that? You know, he's confident. He's like, maybe 3-4 words out of him. And when we asked him that, knockout. Okay. At least you told us your game plan. I respect that.
Come on.
Gonzalez told us he loves to fight because the adrenaline rush of being inside the ring, but also he does it for his son, Donovan Jael, who is 8 years old. And you know, most guys say, I don't want my son to box. That's why I do it. I take the punches so they don't have to. He says, I love it my son fought. So,
oh, yeah?
Completely different story. Different way of looking at things. Nice right hand there from Manny Robles III. Gonzalez's game. He's going to be in this fight.
La campana.
First 9 minutes of this fight are in the books.
Tempo.
The fight in our co-main event this evening between Manny Robles III and Jose Gonzalez. They were both receiving important instructions in their respective corners.
Yeah, Rudy Hernandez for the corner of Manny Robles, telling him, like, you got to be able to get whatever you want right now. You have the opportunity. He's there for it. And then Jose Gonzalez's corner was, like, very emphatic, like, boom, 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 boom. It sounded like he was saying pasito tunto, right? Like, just boom, boom. It was like sound effects in the corner of Gonzalez. Manny Robles with Rudy Hernandez, more calm. And that's another thing with Rudy. You'll never hear him yelling in the corners. I'm looking at him right now. He's just shaking his head, yes, no. But he doesn't give instructions during the rounds.
Yeah, he likes to use that 1 minute to work. And so Manny Robles has been putting in work here early on through the first 3 rounds of this fight. These are the total punches so far. And Gonzalez has actually thrown more and landed more than Manny Robles, but I think that the more efficient offense has been from Manny Robles, who's landed at a higher percentage clip.
Yeah, and he's landed the bigger shots too. Gonzalez will throw them like kind of pitter-patter with some of them.
It's a total power punches so far after the first 3 rounds were completed here in round number 4. And there you see that also the numbers favor Gonzalez, and they're both landing at a 31% clip. I would have thought it was different, so.
All right, well, I mean, Gonzalez's body's going to tell you that they're favoring Manny's right now. Because you've seen Gonzalez a couple times take a deep breath after getting hit with one of those power shots.
Bounce off the ropes. That's a veteran move from Jose Gonzalez. Generate power by using the ropes as a rubber band.
See, that's what Manny does. Keeps his hands nice and tight, and he'll just follow you down, cut the ring off.
Work, guys.
He's been trying to work on his inside game, has been Manny Robles under the tutelage of Rudy Hernandez. And he said, man, sparring with Mickey Roman, that's the one thing he said. His inside game is very good. And that's what Rudy was asking him. Hey, get inside those shots. If you can have him looping his right and catch him with the shot of your own, you're going to be better off. So don't worry about generating a lot of power. Get inside his shots.
Because he was, earlier in his career, was there doing the same thing, but he was smothering himself, so he wasn't able to extend his hands. And I think working with, like sparring with Mickey Roman, he's also sparred in the past with Jorge Linares about 2 years ago, where they sent him to Vegas for a couple days. Linares liked him so much, even though they were different weight classes. Manny's like, well, I don't have gear for a whole week. I don't have any shoes, really. So Linares gifted him a bunch of stuff that he needed. And like, it's like, look, you're doing a great job for me here. Boom, kid, I'm keeping you in Vegas.
Tempo.
So big ups to Kendrick Lamar, one of the hottest artists out right now.
Yeah, he was at a Lakers facility recently. Compton Zone. He knows you. He watches what's his name of your show on Monday?
Golpes.
He watches a los Golpes.
It's because Julio Cesar Chavez is on the show. So.
Yeah, he knows you too, Bernie.
Southpaw stance from Jose Gonzalez in the red trunks trim in black. Manny Robles with the big 3 on the back of his burgundy and silver trunks. Hey, when you start wearing sequins, man, you know you made it.
Hey, man, you do it right there. That's when you know you got next level Everlast here from Ernie. And one thing that in between rounds, we were able to eavesdrop on the corner of Manny Robles, was Rudy Hernandez, the main trainer, telling him, giving him instructions, and followed up with, is that so hard to do? And
yeah.
he's like, no. Well, like, kind of listen, like, step up to the next gear. Then his uncle, Estrellita Edgar Yasso, says, hey, you're too comfortable.
No, get out of there.
And Rudy nodded his head, like, kind of like he's going through cruise control. And that's something we talked with Manny at the fighter meetings. Like, in the past, you were kind of carrying guys. You were going the distance with guys. Like, you didn't have that urgency, that desire to step on somebody's throat. And maybe the last couple of rounds after the scene in the corner.
And he's letting Jose Gonzalez get into this fight here in the 5th round instead of, laying down the law. And there you see the quick combination punching of Manny Robles III. When he's able to let his hands, or when he decides to let his hands go, the fight is completely different than when he allows Gonzalez to move around, use his footwork. And Gonzalez said, that's going to be key tonight. My experience, my footwork, make him follow me. And Robles hasn't done a great job of cutting off the ring tonight.
He was doing it earlier in the rounds, and then he got away from it.
Throw.
And it's been, Gonzalez will go switch hits and give him so many weird angles. He doesn't allow himself to get hit flush, does the fighter from Guadalajara, Gonzalez.
His nickname is Torito, which is the bull, but today he's the torero, the bullfighter, because he's making Robles go find him. And here you see the footwork of the fighter out of Southern California.
Gonzalez taking charge for once. What's Manny doing on the ropes here? He's playing possum, or?
Maybe trying to lull him in to a false sense of security, then unload a shot, but doesn't do that. Oh, nice left hook there from Gonzalez, who makes the mole come out of the nose of Manny Robles III, and Rudy's not going to be happy about how the end of round 5 happened. here at the Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino. Big finish from Jose Gonzalez.
Tempo.
In the corner of Jose Gonzalez, a different story. They were excited. They said, hey, he's out of ideas. Keep feigning him. He falls for them, and then land your shots. You're going to take this fight from this kid.
Momentum on the side of Jose Gonzalez, not just with the fighter, but with the trainer also. As they're pumping up, jumping around. Like, hey, you got something. You figure something out. You crack the shield a little bit.
Manny.
And you can hear it.
Back with that jab. Keep sticking.
See, now you're hitting two voices. That's Rudy Hernandez,
2 or 3 of them, not just one.
who said he doesn't talk, but now he's talking.
Here's Manny Robles Sr.
That's it. Good D, Manny, but you got to counter. That's counter, kid.
That's the voice he was used to hearing until 3 fights ago. Now you've got Rudy Hernandez, you've got Manny Robles, and Edgar Hassel all shouting instructions because they want Manny Robles III to change things up.
Work it again. Come on, let's work. Keep working it. Keep working that left hook.
And that's the voice of Rudy Hernandez, who say he doesn't talk between rounds
unless
he has to. So maybe they're feeling the urgency in that corner. And they should.
You gotta find that left hook at him.
And we see Manny just not able to let his hands go here. Here's Rudy Hernandez.
There you go. Again. Again, Manny. Find the jab. 2, 3 jams, Manny. 2, 3 jams.
Just not responding to the instructions. Oh, nice jab. I mean, that was a piston.
Yes.
It was not just a feel you out jab. That was a I'm going to hurt you, Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley type of jab.
But follow it up, though.
Yes. Take a look at the number of power punches landed through the first 5 rounds plus of this 10-round co-feature.
Like Gonzalez has figured something out. We're going that switching to the southpaw, moving back and forth, doing what he has to do to frustrate Manny. Look, I'm getting text messages and comments from fighters that know Manny saying, who is this? He's not letting his hands go. He's way better than this dude. Why is he fighting the other guy's fights?
That's what his own corner is trying to ask as he gets caught with a nice right hand from Jose Gonzalez. And, you know, I think he stunned Manny Robles in that 5th round, and I don't know that he's fully recovered here in the 6th. Now he's finally letting his hands go. There goes a right hand that wobbles Gonzalez, and this is the Manny Robles III that we expected, and that now we're getting another big right hand in a flurry. 10 seconds left in this 6th round. Trying to take the older veteran fighter into deep waters as Manny Robles finally found his groove in that 6th round, Beto.
Shut me up. I mean,
shut us all up.
Well, yeah, that's what you want to have. That's what you want to do. There's a buzz now in the building. You see this energy from him. Now he's stalking Gonzalez. He looks mad.
You know, I was going to mention right before he started to land those shots, maybe he's like Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera, who, you know, Barrera wouldn't get going till you landed a nice shot on him. And, you know, Gonzalez did that to Robles in the 5th round, and then in the 6th, he paid the price. And now we see a different intensity in the face of Manny Robles III, and his actions with his fist are also very different.
When he and his dad used to train at the Rock Gym in Carson, I used to go there all the time. I would go pretend to work out, right? I just would go and see the sparring sessions, and it was always Manny who was putting on a show in the sparring. Then when you would go to fights, he was just, he was pedestrian. Then you realize he's sparring against Jesse Magdaleno, who's the champion, Oscar Valdez, who's the champion. So those were his pay-per-view nights where you kind of come down to the level of your competition at times. Well, now you got to go and be a professional mentally and say, hey, don't let this dude carry me. Don't let this guy be in the same ring with me, and let me put him out.
I mean, you can't be a gym war champion. You've got to be a champion in the ring, and the only way to get to that level is by proving what you're capable of against lesser opposition. And there's no doubt that Jose Gonzalez, with all the respect that he deserves, is lesser competition compared to the quality and talent level of Manny Robles III, but he hung in there for the first 5 rounds, and it really wasn't until the 6th round that we saw a difference in quality.
Del mano, delo.
but he's letting Gonzalez get back in this fight once again. So we had that roar for a second, the buzz in the building, as you mentioned, Beto, and now it's back to a lull. One punch can change it all for Manny Robles. I mean, there's a reason he's got 8 knockouts and 16 wins. Manny's got 4 consecutive knockouts, looking to make it 5 tonight, but he's got an unwilling dance partner in Jose Gonzalez.
Now, this is now Gonzalez realizing, okay, I got his power. I'm not going to stand there and trade with him.
He's kind of in an awkward stance, Jose Gonzalez. Not full southpaw, not orthodox, just enough to throw Robles off. And he's able to land a couple of shots there.
Just enough not to get hit flush.
There you see that jab of Manny Robles. When he uses it, it's quite effective.
La campana.
These rounds are going pretty quickly here as we're through 7 at the Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino in Indio, California.
Tempo.
Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino. Take a look at the power punches landed. Now the balance has gone in favor of Manny Robles III, especially in that 6th round where he was able to hurt Jose Gonzalez. That's really made a difference. He got into the 21 power punch range, very effective. But once again, he's going down in terms of his power punch output.
Right, so you do that in the 6th. Mind you, it takes a lot to exert that energy, to throw it. But what are you going to do with it the rest of the way? You can't just show flashes. You have to finish the show.
Jose Gonzalez trying to put in some work here in the 8th round. Gets caught with a nice counter left hook from Manny Robles III. I mean, you can see the heavy hands that Manny Robles has, but he's just not letting him go enough, Beto.
I'm continuing to get messages from these fighters. Maybe say it louder, he can hear you. Like that's another thing. When other fighters that know him are getting frustrated because they're not seeing what they see or what they've sparred against with him. Look, Manny's going to be if he goes back and watches this, he's going to be his biggest critic. He's going to understand what is going on, and he owned up to it, because in the past we asked him about it. He's like, yeah, I would let these guys hang around with me.
Work out of there, guys.
Mind you, it's a lot different right now when you have a fighter like Jose Gonzalez who's felt some of that power, is not going to do something stupid to get caught. He's going to stay out of that firing range.
He said, this is the type of fighter I got to get out. You know, his father knew it. His trainer, Rudy Hernandez, knew it. He knew it. So he's just not executing on all cylinders here this evening. And it's going to be interesting to find out why that is.
I mean, give Gonzalez a lot of credit too for that, but that's, as they say, there's levels to this, right? As you move up in opposition, you move up in quality of opponents. As you move up, you have to figure out a way to make these guys fight your fight. You have to find a way to control it. Because as you go up the ladder, it's going to be even more difficult.
Gonzalez mentioned to us the fact that, you know, he's a natural 118 pounder. He fights at 122. He feels he can still make bantamweight. He said, that's my best weight class, but the better fights are here at 126 pounds. So I had to step up, and so far he's making a good account of himself.
And with better money.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, better fights, better money. That's.
I don't blame the kid.
La campana, la campana.
Through 8 rounds here, and just not enough action, but should be dominant. Just has been unable to finish the show against Jose Gonzalez. He came in here with the mission, Beto, to shine, and although it's been a dominant performance, I think in terms of rounds won, it's not the type of performance that he expected of himself.
At all. He knew it was going to be tough against Jose Gonzalez. He didn't expect to blow him out. You know, he said if there was a knockout available, yeah. We know when you match up a fighter like Jose Gonzalez against you, that you're going to go rounds. It's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult because of what he does. He doesn't stay there. He's unorthodox in his style. But Manny Robles still has 2 more rounds to finish it strong, step on the gas, and make a presence.
Work out of there, trabaja.
These are the total punches thrown and landed. Gonzalez outworking Robles by almost 200 punches overall, but the amount landed favors Manny Robles, and it still comes down to that 6th round where he was able to really get Jose Gonzalez in trouble and prove what he's capable of doing.
But what do you do after that?
Just a flash in the pan, unfortunately for him. There's that jab from Manny Robles that when he throws it, it establishes everything for him, but just unable to follow up or unwilling to follow up.
And the 126-pound division remains. He's 24 years old. Okay, so 2019, you're looking at him. If you're Roberto Diaz, Golden Boy matchmaker, where do you put him at? Like, where do you elevate him to? That's going to be the question for the Golden Boy staff with Roberto and Lazo, matchmakers. And Golden Boy's going to have the platform with the zone, and you're going to have to put on fights and have to put on shows. And who gets on those? Guys that put on an exciting fight.
They're asking Manny Robles to work more, and it's as if they were asking Jose Gonzalez to do it because he's the one who's responding. You hear the voice of Manny Robles Jr. telling the third, 30 seconds, go to work. Breathing deep too.
Yeah. Look, everybody's urging him to go, but it's up to the fighter to dig deep and do something about it. It's just, it's not like we're harping on Manny. We're not trying to say he's not having a good performance tonight. It's just from what we saw his last fight, where he finished Edgar Valera, where he knocked him out, where he stopped him, and in a decisive manner, he opened up some eyes. And when you give him that performance, you're like, okay, cool, now you're a TV opener, we're gonna get things going on. And you're like, okay, what are we gonna get from him? But you're gonna get nothing, because tonight he is not living up to what we saw the last fight.
And he just landed a nice right hand
Watch the back punches.
that kind of froze the right leg of Gonzalez, but there's just not much after it. I mean, it's a one shot at a time for Manny Robles III, and he talked about creating a buzz, making his name known. Well, tonight is not that type of night for Manny Robles, and he only has 40 seconds to change that.
Well, you also got to have the right dance partner with you, and Jose Gonzalez it wasn't willing to get a little Quebradita with him or anything of that. No, he was like, nah, I felt your power. Let me stay away from you the next couple of rounds.
That's a tribute to Gonzalez, but the great fighters find a way to figure it out. You know, and Manny Robles did not find a way tonight to catch Gonzalez.
Control the fight.
Guys.
Just too awkward for him maybe, but you know, he had the right instructions in the corner. He just didn't execute the adjustments that were put forth by his father and his trainer, Rudy Hernandez. So
Get off his head, get off his head.
it should be an easy win on the scorecards for Manny Robles III. Unfortunately, that's not what he came here to do tonight.
And Gonzalez thinks he's jumping in the corner.
All right, let's take a look at how the numbers played out for this fight in terms of total thrown. I mean, it's all in favor of Jose Gonzalez. The number of landed punches, well, that favors Manny Robles III. I go back to that 6th round, and that may be the big difference in how this fight plays out. But there's only one man that has the most important numbers, and that's what the judges scored. That is Joe Martinez.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards, and here are the totals. Rudy Barragan has it 96-94 for Robles. Pat Russell, 96-94 for Gonzalez. Judge Jerry Cantu has it 97-93, your winner by split decision. And still undefeated, still NABF Featherweight Champion,